Good morning, children. How are you all? I hope everyone is fine there. Last term, we had completed the Dear Departed 1. Today is the Dear Departed 2. Okay, na? Let us see about the author. His author name is William Stanley Horton. So, let us see that. The Dear Departed. Already you know that departed means passed away. Okay, now see that. Let us see about the author. William Stanley Horton was born on 1881 and he was died in 1913. He was a famous English dramatist. He was a famous English dramatist means one who writes dramas or one who writes role play, skit. So that person we can call dramatist, one who writes the dramas. He was famous in writing dramas in English. He was one of the best of a group of realistic playwright often called the Manchester School. Yes, he was the one of the best of a group of realistic. Realistic means here represented of being accurate, and he writes in a accurate manner in the role play. Okay, and then often he was called the Manchester School. Manchester School we can call it. In every play, whatever he write, every play is sought. Sought means seek. He seek to present an idea. Whatever the play he writes it, he has an idea to write it. Without idea, he can't write it. With idea only, he writes it. He had a remarkable gift for dialogue. Remark means which we cannot forgettable. He has a remarkable gift. What the gift he has to write the dialogues, and that is evident in the Dear Departed. And what is evident here? And he wrote what he wrote it, the Dear Departed. It was the evident that everyone can understand. The Dear Departed was first produced in Manchester in 1908. So the Dear Departed, he was first produced. He wrote it. Where it wrote in Manchester. It was in 1908. Here, Horton satirizes. Satirizes means he mocked it. Satirizes means he mocks. The degradation. Degradation means the act of reducing in the rank of moral values, where it is especially British middle class, and they used to mock it, the middle class. Okay, na? And about the moral values. So that he wrote it. Who wrote that? William Stanley Horton. Let us see that. Let's go for the lesson. Role play. Yeah. The Dear Departed 2. Now Abel means the father of Mrs. Slater, Mrs. Jordan. Yes, he was saying that. Abel was saying Meriwether, no? Abel Meriwether means the father of Mrs. Slater and Mrs. Jordan. What's the matter with the little Vicky? He was asking the question. Meriwether was Abel was asking that what was the matter with little Vicky? He was asking the question. Immediately, he looks at the Ben and Mrs. Jordan. He looks towards the who that Abel. He looks at the Ben and Mrs. Jordan. Hello, what brings you here? He was asking question. Abel was asking that what brings you here? Why did you come here? How is yourself, Ben? How yourself, Ben means how are you, Ben? He was asking the question to Ben. Abel thrusts his hand, and Ben, who skips backs smartly and retreats with Mrs. Jordan to a safe distance below the sofa. Here, Abel thrust means thrust is nothing, shows. Thrust. Thrust is nothing. He shows his hands. He shows his hand at a Ben. He was showing towards the Mr. Ben, who skips and go away back smartly. He doesn't want to say the answer, so smartly was going away. And retreats. Retreats means here the act of pulling back. The act of pulling back. Write it. Retreats. The act of pulling back. So he was going back with Mrs. Jordan and pulling back towards the. He was pulling the Mrs. Jordan to a safe distance below the sofa. They were going below the sofa. They don't want to show their faces to Abel. Mrs. Slater approaching Abel gingerly. She was approaching means she was going to Abel, and gingeringly means here in a careful manner. Gingerly means in a careful way. So Mrs. Slater was approaching Abel very in a careful manner. Father, is that you? Mrs. Slater was asking, Father, is that you? She pokes him with her hand. Pokes him means just push him like that. Testing whether he is or not. He is a Ebola or he is a devil or not. Just pokes. She pokes him with her hand to see if he is solid. Solid means fluid. Whether he is alive or not. Whether he was alive or not. Just pushing with the hand. Immediately Abel was saying, of course it's me. Of course it's me. Don't do that, Amelia. Don't push it. What the devil do you mean? What the devil do you mean by this tomfoolery? Tomfoolery means here foolish behavior. Tomfoolery, which means foolish behavior. Just she was pushing like that. No, she was testing whether he is able or not. So immediately said, what the devil do you mean by this tomfoolery? Means acting in a foolish behavior. Mrs. Jordan, you took us by surprise, Father. Are you keeping quite well? You took us by surprise, Father. Surprise means you took us because all thought that he was dead, but it was surprise. That's the reason you took us by surprise, Father. Are you keeping quite well? She was asking. Who was asking? Mr. Jordan was asking to Father. Abel, trying to catch the words. Trying to catch the words are words. Huh? What? Huh? What? Was asking question. Mr. Jordan, are you quite well? Are you quite well? She asked the question to Abel. Abel, huh? I'm right enough, but for a bit of a headache. I'm right. I'm right enough, but somewhat some bit of a headache I got it. Yes, looking at Amelia. He was looking at Amelia. Amelia, what the dickens did I do with my new slippers? He was asking question. He was looking towards the Amelia and he was asking question. Amelia, what the Dickens? Dickens means what? Shows. Dickens means shows. Dickens means shows. Shows. Did I do with my new slippers? Huh? Where are my slippers? Shows that. Did I do with my new slippers? Where are they, my slippers? New slippers. He was asking question to Amelia. Mrs. Slater. Confused. She was confused and she was, aren't they by the earth, Father? Aren't they? Aren't they by the earth father? Earth father means aren't they? There aren't father? She was asked question. Abel, I don't see them. I don't see them. Then observing Henry trying to remove the slippers. He was observing, and then Henry was trying to remove the slippers. Why you have got M on Henry? Why you have got those things? Henry, he was asking question to Henry. Who was asking that? Abel was asking the question to Henry. Why you have got them? EM means here. EM is that's a short form. EM is a short form which means them. Okay. Why did you get those things, Henry? Why did you get those slippers? He was asked a question to Henry. Then Mrs. Slater was saying promptly, clearly, I told him to put them on to stretch them. What he was telling that, what she was saying that, promptly, clearly, Father, I told him to put them, wear them on to stretch them. Stretch means to be, stretch means to become loose, no? Become stretch or some more. Because of that reason, I asked him to wear it. They were that new and hard. They were the new and they were hard. Now Henry saying, Mrs. Slater was saying to Henry, Mrs. Slater snatches the slippers. Mrs. Slater snatches means takes the slippers from the Henry and gives them to Abel. Who gives them to Abel? That Mrs. Slater. And who puts them? Who wears the slippers and sits in the armchair? Who sits in the armchair? And Abel take that slippers and he wears the slippers and he sits in the armchair. Mr. Jordan to Ben. He was saying to Ben. She was saying to Ben. Well, I don't call that delicate. Well, I don't call them delicate. Call them means slippers. Delicate. Stepping into a dead man's shoes. Yes, stepping into dead man's shoes. Dead man's shoes means slippers. Wearing the dead man's slippers in such a hasty, such a speed manner. Why? After death of her father, immediately taking that slippers and wearing the slippers is not a good at all. She said to Ben. Victoria runs across to the Abel and sits on the floor at his feet. Immediately, Victoria runs across the Abel. So she goes to the Abel and sits on the floor on his feet, near to his feet. She sat it. Victoria, oh, Grandpa, I'm so glad you are not dead. Victoria was saying, oh, Grandpa, I'm so glad you are not dead. You are not dead. Victoria said to grandfather. Who is the grandfather? Abel. Abel mother. Mrs. Slater, in a vindictive whisper. Vindictive whisper means here. Vindictive. Vindictive means about from on in harsh and hasty manner. He says sometimes no, we say to someone in a harsh manner. She also said in a harsh manner towards the Victoria. Hold your tongue, Victoria, in a harsh manner. Who said that? Mrs. Slater said in a harsh manner, in a whispering manner, whispering slowly. Hold your tongue, Victoria, she said. Abel, huh? What is that? Who has gone dead? Huh? What is that? Who has gone that? Dead. Mrs. Slater saying loudly. Victoria says she is sorry about your head. Victoria says that she was sorry about her head. Before he said that the headache, no? That is the reason she want to make him, she want to confuse him. And what he said loudly, Mrs. Slater was saying loudly, Victoria says she is sorry about your headache. That you got headache, no? She said that she was very sorry about your headache. Abel, huh? Thank you, Vicky, but I am feeling better. Huh, Vicky? Huh, thank you, Vicky. I am feeling better now. Abel, why, Ben? You are in a mourning. Mourning means crying. Ben, why are you crying? Mourning means like like that, no? Why are mourning? Means so if someone did it, what they do it? They cry for it, and everyone is silent and they cry for it. That is the reason Babel was asking, why Ben, you are in a mourning. And even Lizzie too. Lizzie means the Elizabeth. Lizzie means a Elizabeth name. And Amelia also, same. And Henry. These are all in a mourning. Why? These are all people. And little Vicky also. And little Vicky. These all people were in mourning. Why they are mourning it? Why they are crying for? Who has gone dead? It is someone in the family who has gone dead. It is someone in the family. Abel was asking question to them. He chuckles. Somewhat he chuckles means laughs it like that. Mrs. Slater. No one you know, father, a relation of Ben. No one, no. One you know, the father, a relation of Ben. Relation of Ben's only did it. Abel. And what relation of Ben's? What relation of Ben's did it? Mrs. Slater. His brother. Mrs. Slater said his brother dead. Ben to Mrs. Slater, damn it. I never had one. I never had one means I never had brother. Simply you are saying, damn it. Means saying seriously. Abel. Dear, dear, and what was his name, Ben? Dear, dear, what was his name, Ben? He was asking. Who was asking that? Abel was asking. Ben saying, at a loss, he was saying, ill. He crosses to front of the table. He crosses the front of the table. Say he like that. He doesn't know who did. He doesn't know how to say that. Yes, Mrs. Slade saying, right side of the table, promptly, clearly, Frederick. He was right side of the. He was a right side of the table and saying willing to, ready to say that Frederick. Mr. Jordan said, left side of the table, prompting Albert. He said. She said, Albert. Ben said that Fred Al Isaac. Ben said, Fred Al Isaac, he said. Then Abel said, Isaac? And where did your brother Isaac die? His name is Isaac. And where did your brother Isaac die? Where did he die? He was asked the question. Abel was asked a question to them. When in Australia, he was not saying properly, but he said in Australia. Said Abel, rising up. Well, I suppose you have only been waiting for me to begin tea. I'm feeling hungry. Abel said that, well, I suppose you have only been waiting for, been waiting for me to begin tea. So I'm feeling hungry. Let us drink tea. Mrs. Slater, taking up the kettle. Kettle means a tea pot, no? Kettle, I will make it. She said that I will make it. Abel, come along now. Sit you down and let us be jolly. Abel said that, come along. All of them come near and sit here. Sit you down and let us be jolly. Let us be jolly. Let us be enjoy. So Abel sits at the head of the table. So head of the table is sits it. You can see the picture. You can easily can understand. So head of the table is here. Main table. Main chair is seated and around there sits it. Abel sits at the head of the table, facing spectators. Spectator means the one who observes an event. Spectators means, write it. Spectators, which means one who observes an event. One who observes an event. Okay. So observes means these are the people who sat near to him. Abel suddenly recollecting. Abel, he was suddenly recollecting everything, and he was saying, "Huh, Amelia and Henry, what the devil did you mean by shifting my bureau out of my bedroom?" He was asking question. What he was asking question to Amelia and Henry? What the devil did you mean by shifting my bureau from upstairs to downstairs? Birvo, out of my bedroom. What do you think about that? Huh? Henry and Mrs. Slater are speechless. They did not speak anything. Do you hear me? He was asking. Do you hear me, Henry, Amelia? He was asking to. Abel was asking to those people. Why did you bring my Birvo from my bedroom? What devil you mean? So he was asking question to Amelia and Slater. Mrs. Jordan, what Birvo was that? What Birvo was that, father? Abel, why? My Birvo, that one I bought. My Birvo, that one I bought it. Who said that? Abel. Yes. Mrs. Jordan, pointing to the Birvo. She was pointing to the Birvo. Was it that one, father? Was it that one, father? She was pointing towards that. Abel, huh, that's it. What's it doing there? Huh? What is it doing there? Huh? He asked. A pause. Pause means there's some. They waited. The clock on the mantelpiece strikes 6. The clock which they bought it, which that Mrs. Slater bought it from the brought from that father's bedroom. So it strikes the 6 o'clock. Everyone looks at it. Everyone looks at the clock. That me, if that isn't my clock too. That means damn with anger manner. With anger manner, say, damn, drat me. If that isn't my clock too, that is also my clock too. Who said this? Abel. What the devils begin going on in this house? What the devils has been going on this house? He was asking the question to those people. Then a slight pause is there. Ben was speaking. Well, I will be hanged. Well, I will be hanged. Mrs. Jordan, yes, Mrs. Jordan, I will tell you what is been going on in this house. Father, nothing short of a robbery. What Mrs. Jordan said? She was rising up and she was telling that I will tell you what has been going on this house. Father, nothing, so it is nothing but a sort of a robbery. Who said these words? Mrs. Jordan. Thank you. Let us learn tomorrow.